So the IDP is both a product and a process. The product should be a written set of goals mapped onto a timeline and then brought to an IDP meeting with a mentor. But the process actually that creates that product, that document that is a set of goals written onto a timeline, the process actually includes 4 phases, and I'll share those briefly. There's an assessment that the trainee does. There's a career and professional considerations phase. There's a goal setting phase. And then all those 3 phases are done by the trainee, by the student or postdoc. And then the trainee and mentor have the implementation phase, which is a discussion about that. So to flesh this out a little bit, the assessment phase should be, thinking about your personal and professional assessment. So what are your skills? What are your interests, values? How have those changed since the last time you did an IDP? And when we talk about skills, interests, and values, it's sort of what skills are you developing in the lab and outside in your other professional areas? What interests, so what tasks do you like doing or not doing? And how do those apply to your work? What content areas are you most interested in? And how have those changed? Values are like the rewards or outcomes that you want from your work. And those change in different phases or different years of your life as well. But then I think every year or every IDP period, people should also reflect back on the progress they've made. And it should be a time to sort of pat yourself on the back and say, look at the things that I said I was going to accomplish that I did. Some I did not, and we'll move those forward. But I did actually accomplish a lot, and that can be a good feeling when you do your IDPs. Then you move into the career and professional considerations phase. Do I know what my career options are, and do I have a plan for what I'm going to do after I finish UCSF? And do I know what transitional experiences I need to achieve my next career step? Then the third phase is, okay, now that I've sort of looked back and looked inside myself, and then I've also thought about my career goals and my professional development needs, what am I going to do during the next year to move myself forward? What milestones do I need to reach in my research, my academic progress? What will I do to make my career planning move forward? So if I'm not certain about what I want to do, what will I do in the next 6 months or year to move myself towards certainty? What skills do I need to build for my current and future work? So in order to reach the milestones in my research, are there things I need skills that I need to move forward? And then what goals and steps can I put onto this timeline so that it's a reasonable set of goals for the next IDP period? And then the implementation phase would be, you take this document that you've created and you meet with your mentors and discuss revised goals. There can be a negotiation that happens around some of the things that you want to do, and then repeat these steps annually or every 6 months, whatever your desired IDP period is. Okay, so we'll take a look also at what an IDP product is. So you do all these activities in that process, and it should create some kind of a document if you're writing these things down, and that's what you'll take to your mentor. It doesn't have to be only a discussion with your PI. It can be other mentors as well. And this document is probably the outcome of those 3 phases that we talked about. So your assessment phase, your career thinking phase, and your goals. So these 3 phases create a document, and there's no one right way to create an IDP product, no best format. Some of you may be familiar with the My IDP tool that's at Science Magazine's Science's career site. I'm a co-author on that tool. I think it's great for some purposes, but for other people, it doesn't necessarily resonate with the way they think about planning. And so we'll share some alternative plans, but I think a good way to approach the IDP process is to think carefully about what you've been doing. Think carefully about if that process, if the IDP tool you're using is working for you. And if not, maybe think about some of the other models that we'll share here